Okay, so here I am introducing Rene Carayol. He's a leadership guru, international public speaker. He's sat on the board of the likes of Pepsi, Marks and Spencer's, and he's also an author of a book called Spike, which is all about leadership, a book that I've read numerous times and I've learned so much about. And I've also managed to get Rene Carayol as my mentor, so I'm lucky enough, and now we're here to raise awareness on financial education. So Rene, thank you very much again.
Thank you.
For your time.
That's a hell of a build-up. I'm only here to disappoint now.
No, I'm sure you won't. So Rene, obviously want to raise awareness on financial education. So first question, do you find that financial education is an important subject?
So, the timing of this is fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a daughter she just finished university, and the student loan, when it came to her, she really didn't know or understand what it was, how to manage it, how to get the best out of it, how to make it work for her.
Yeah.
And she's got a great degree, she's passed in PR, but now she's got a financial burden for the rest of her life.
Mm-hmm.
If she had 2 or 3 tips, or just a voice that she could believe in, or even the 10 top tips written down, the do's and don'ts, nothing. And I think the well-intentioned universities and the student loan served to be a millstone around her neck, and it will probably be now for the next 15 years.
Yeah.
That wasn't its intention. Now, the bit I love about what you're trying to achieve now, a few early tips, a brand you can trust, and someone you can refer to before you make those big decisions is everything. My daughter would not be in that place today.
Yeah, beautiful. Now, obviously you've seen your daughter go through university, get herself into a bit of bother with finances.
Yes.
If there's one subject out of personal finances, what would you feel would be the most important subject? Would that be budgeting, saving, mortgages, tax? What would you find?
Do you know, if I look back at my childhood, where we really didn't have anything. So budgeting, Mum taught me how to budget.
Yeah.
Mum taught me about the rainy day. Mum taught me about how to save. Mum taught me about the value of money, how hard it was to come across. I've worked hard to give my daughter the best start possible.
Yeah.
I mean, if I look back at some of the mistakes I made, I'd like to do again is give her the lessons on living on a budget.
Yeah.
Give her the lessons of when something unexpected comes your way, don't spend it today.
Yeah.
Have a think about how do I make that work for me over the next 12, 18 months when I really need it. And also prioritise. What are the right big things that I need to cover for? Unfortunately, she didn't come from the same place I came from. And don't worry, Dad's going to be around. Well, Dad ain't going to be around forever. The bit that I've realised, the best gift I've given her is to sit her down and talk to her about how do you budget and save for a rainy day.
Yeah.
That's going to last her forever. 500 quid won't. But that budgeting lesson will last with her for the rest of her life.
Exactly. Now, just talk about your story. Obviously, I've read Spike a couple of times now, and amazing story that you have, and you obviously come from a working class background.
Very much so.
Very much so, but you was fortunate enough to get that financial education from your mum.
Yes.
Now, a lot of working class families are learning from their mum and dads, and so to speak, they don't really know a lot about budgeting and savings, which this is where I find that the big problem is, because our mindset is obviously built up from the environment around us, and what we get taught is what we know. Now, if I'm learning like I learned from my mum and dad, and my mum lives off of credit cards, needs it every month, and my dad is in the cash economy, buying and selling part machinery. So learning from them was terrible. It was only until I started learning within the industry. So for somebody who has a mum and dad who doesn't have the best advice to give, what advice would you give them?
So it's an interesting dilemma, because if I look at my mum and dad, it was a cash economy. And Mum and Dad worked hard and were paid in cash.
Yeah.
And the bit I'll never forget, every Friday my dad coming home with a brown envelope, 10 shilling notes, £5 notes, rolled up, he just gave it to Mum unopened. Why? She was the budgeter.
Yeah.
Today's different. We're hit with access to finance from every which way. My daughter's got more credit cards than I've got. She's got access to PayPal, to debit card to everything's available to her. And it's moving so quickly. So even with me and my daughter, my knowledge of everything that's available to her is out of date within 6 months. So no matter how much I try, I don't know of all the different gizmos she's got. My daughter runs a barber shop now on the side.
Okay.
And she said to me, Dad, the barber shop, cash is going out of fashion. We've got to be able to take debit cards. All kids have debit cards. They didn't in my time, so I was shocked. She got a very simple machine, and within 6 months, 50% of the customers in a barber shop are paying by card.
It's the way the world's moving.
I couldn't advise her.
Yeah.
So she needs other sources of advice.
Yeah.
She needs more contemporary advice, and she needs advice that's up to the minute and up to date. And that's why I think what you're trying to do, all of a sudden, it's someone, and I keep saying this, it's a brand you can trust.
Yeah.
Because it's contemporary, it moves with the times, it knows what the latest developments are. Yeah. Last month's advice is yesterday's advice. Things are changing so quickly. Monzo, Revolut, banks without branches. My mum didn't know there'd be a bank without branches. There'd be, my daughter says to me, minute on minute, every transaction that takes place appears on her phone. She should never run out of money. But it just tells how much more she's got to spend, as opposed to how much more she's got to. So she needs a younger contemporary voice saying, have you considered? Here's a suggestion. How about, look at this. And I think that's what you're doing. It's not telling them, it's informing.
Exactly.
There's a difference.
There is a big difference in that. Yeah, just a lot of people don't like to be told either.
And it's interesting because we went to I was asked to give a careers talk at Ainsley Wood Primary School in Chingford to 5 and 6 year olds. Can you imagine? 5 and 6 year olds. And they had a careers fair for 5 and 6 year olds. The fire service turned up, the ambulance service, the NHS turned up, some fitness instructors. And what they were saying is, we've got to keep our kids at school through education. And if you give them a dream of a career, they're more likely to get through till they're 18 and stay at school. The bit that was missing in that careers fair was financial advisors. I just thought, this is great, but isn't there a table missing? You're never too young to learn today. So just telling them about the value of money, how hard it is to get, why you need to retain it and how you spend it. And I think what you're doing, there's no limits to how low it can go and no limits to how high it can go in terms of age profile.
Now talking about schools.
Yes.
If finance education was in the schools, back in your days when you was growing up, now, your personal opinion, what do you think the times would be like now with like the landlord crisis, the credit crisis we've had, the homelessness, the stress, the suicide from financial stress? Do you think that would make a massive impact?
Do you know, I think we underestimate what great financial advice can do. I spent a weekend, I was trained to spend a weekend with the Samaritans. And Samaritans do one thing. They, young men between 16 and 30, it prevents them committing suicide. 98% of their calls are from young men, not women. The girls talk to each other. Boys, we build girls up to be perfect, boys to be courageous. We're too courageous. We get money, we spend it, we get money, we spend it. Before we know it, we've got a crisis and we don't know how to speak about it. I was answering calls of young men who are literally on the ledge.
Really?
Because of financial problem. Didn't want to tell mum and dad, too embarrassed. Didn't want to tell their friends, didn't have no one to talk to. Now, if we had that in the schools, and this is no exaggeration, we talk about mental health, anxiety, depression, suicide amongst young men. How many of those might we avoid? Just with a little bit of timely advice.
Exactly.
I think this is going to be fundamental in the future.
Well, that's partly why I'm so passionate about it, because I believe it is the foundation where we need to start. And
I think you're changing people's lives for the better. Who wouldn't want to do that? But you might well be saving some lives as well. Why would you not want that?
Now, talking about that, I think people get themselves in suicide and people get themselves stressed because people don't like to talk about money. It is a taboo subject. Now, this day and age, 21st century, we are open to talk about sex, religion, politics, but money's still quite not talked about.
I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story.
Yeah.
For the Brits, money is vulgar. When I left Marks and Spencer's, I went onto the board of Pepsi, and I was based out of Purchase, New York initially, and 7 of us on the board. In those dark days, all men. I was the only Brit, and at the end of the first board meeting, the payroll came out, and we were given our salary slips, and I did what all Brits do. Had it in my hands.
Yeah.
The Americans opened them and laid them on and we used to get 90-day bonuses. And they laid theirs open and they said, hey, so what did you get? And they'd say 20, 30,000 pounds. And I'm going, very quickly, what did you get? Sorry, what did you get? Not bad actually, because that's what I was taught to do.
Mm.
In America, everyone talks openly about money. We don't. We need to change that because it's not about boasting. It's when you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Who knows when you're in trouble? No one ever says.
Exactly.
And when you can see a Brit walking down the road, dressed to the nines, and you don't know whether they've got a penny in their pocket or $1 million in their pocket.
Power of credit.
Or a hole in their pocket.
Yeah.
You don't know that. Now I wonder if we took the vulgar nature, how we see it, the taboo away, who else could we save?
Yeah, exactly.
Just by a simple conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you're onto something really, really important. And as I say again, the timing is incredible.
Thank you. And that was, to be honest with you, you opened up and I think you helped raise the awareness on finance education.
And I'd like to leave a message.
Yes.
You know, that all of us are working as hard as we can, and we're lucky to be in employment. There are those who are coming up to a career and don't yet have employment. And there's some of us who are unfortunate enough not to have employment at all. For all of us, money makes that difference. Yeah. And I think if we could do 3 things, which I think you're doing. Number 1, awareness of the value of money. Just understand how valuable it is, how hard it is to come by. Number 2, to learn about the rainy day.
Yeah.
When we get a windfall, let's think about that rainy day. And number 3, and probably most important of all, don't be afraid to ask for help if you've got money issues. Yeah. And put your hand up early. Yeah. And I think what you're doing covers all those 3.
Definitely.
To me, fabulous. There is no downside to this.
Yeah.
So let's get this moving as quickly as possible and go and change people's lives for the better.
Exactly. Rene, thank you very much for your time.
Brilliant.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Cheers, John.